I'm just going to tell you something else in honor of today's my brother's Yortzeit. I was last week, another story, it's a beautiful story. I was last week, I went to the Shiva, that's 2 weeks already, to visit Zeldi sitting Shiva for the Milcher Raskin. So there at the Shiva was a Yid from Australia, a Pesach Schmerling. A Pesach Schmerling from Melbourne, Australia, is a teacher in the yeshiva and in the Yeshiva Gedola. Just by the way, his story. His father was a Holocaust survivor, and the kids they sent him to the yeshiva as kids. They weren't traditional, not really frum, but the kids became, him and his sister became frum, and the guys are gone. Gewaltige Talmud Chacham, he's Pesach Schmerling, and he's completely disconnected from Olam Hazeh. I mean, just 2 stories that Pesach told me. So Chaim was a Bach in 770, so Pesach Schmerling came. Pesach Schmerling was in Koilel, or had come to America just after his marriage and spent some months there. So the Seder used to be in those. There was a Fabrengen every Shabbos. Fabrengen started at 1:30. Davening finished at 12. So it was an hour and a half. So many people would go home, kiddush, a small bite, and so the Pesach invited the Australian Bachrim. And Chaim was a student of his as a teenager to the house to make kiddush. So he said, and I know that this Schmerling doesn't have a. He said we didn't have a full set of dishes of anything. It was a plate here and the first time my brother came, didn't say anything. But that week, outside our door, we realized it was him. Was a set. He bought a set of dishes and cutlery, very inexpensive in the store on Kingston Avenue. That's without saying anything. He brought this. It was paper, not even that. We had a bro. So he tells me this Pesach Shmerling. At the Shiv again. So I wanted to hear again from him. So Chaim was 14, 15, starting to learn Chassidus. And we learn Chassidus, so you find out this Ava Kodesh Baruch, it's the first central teaching that God's desire is that Bossi, the Gani, dwelling place in this world. He said, your brother became so enthused and excited, inspired, that we are privileged to know what the kavanah of creation is and that everything is tied into this purpose. He was so excited. He said he was running around as a kid asking, tell me, do you know, why are we here? What's the purpose? And he was astounded and also and others don't know. How can we have to spread this? The Yidden should know. Is it the 13 or 14, maybe 15 maximum year-old child, the inspiration that he had and how he couldn't contain his excitement, had to share this. And this continued throughout his life. He learned Chassidus and the discovery of it. He was a big intellectual. And just one little snapshot from yesterday. This guy, I'm talking to someone sitting here, Nusi, that we're dealing with in New York, a complete nebach. A person just, some people, God just, we don't know why, just not tzloch and not with children, nebach, physically, spiritually, himself, health issues. He's a simple fella, big Talmud Chacham, but a very simple person. Litvishin man, you call that. He was like a long Kindle Gartel. Anyway, he's a big problem right now, and he was here in Montreal a few times, you may remember. So he's calling me from his room. I'm trying to help him, helping with the help of good friends. Anyway, so I told him yesterday that tonight's my brother's Yortzeit. He says, Chaim, when he was for 1 year in Australia, I don't know what he was doing. 1 year they moved to Australia, it didn't work out. He said, your brother befriended me. He needed help always financially, and he helped us. And I just want to tell you, last night on the Zoom, we had a big family chat, and the people in Melbourne, they didn't remember this guy. They didn't remember him. But Chaim, he's telling me, of all the people in Melbourne, he's not even a Lubavitcher, but he had problems. Chaim was there to help. Siddur, Maila, and Ketz, Mata Madin Tachlis. What is the proof of the connection to the high spiritual? If it translates in Mata Din Tachlis and the very simple acts of empathy and helping a yid and a listening ear, listen to a person. Much to speak. All right, friends.